This is Teresa Murray, business reporter at the Cleveland Plain Dealer. My colleague John Coneglia and I have been reporting since September about problems that thousands of people nationwide are having with unexplained cell phone data overages and monstrous monthly bills. We're still looking into what caused these data surges, but for now we have 4 super easy tips to help you use less data on your cell phone while conserving your battery and protecting your privacy at the same time. These tips are for an iPhone. We have a different video if you have an Android. First, let's talk about the background app refresh button. Some of the biggest problems we've seen have involved people whose phones had apps running in the background when they weren't using the apps, and sometimes when they weren't even on their phones. Quite simply, you want to stop apps from running when you're not using them. So here's what you should do. Go to your settings button. Tap that. Go about 9 lines down to General. Tap that. Then go about 8 lines down to Background App Refresh. Tap that. At the top is the Background App Refresh button. And then below that are all the apps that can run in the background. In general, you don't want apps running in the background. Green is on, white is off. So you could just turn off the button at the top by toggling it to white. But before you do that, you should look at all of your apps to be sure there's nothing that you actually want running. There are a couple of apps you may want to run in the background. If you have a security system or a weather app, for example, you may want that to run when you're not on your phone so it can alert you if necessary. Beyond those types of things, you don't want apps to run in the background. There's just too much danger that the apps will rack up gigabytes when you don't want them to use data. So turn off everything that you don't want running when you're not using your phone. Next is the Wi-Fi Assist button. This is really important if you have an iPhone. Apple recently introduced this new Wi-Fi Assist setting. It allows your phone to decide if it doesn't like your Wi-Fi connection, even if you're at home or at work on a perfectly good Wi-Fi. You want to turn this setting off. So go to Cellular Data. Go all the way to the bottom of the screen. See where it says Wi-Fi Assist? Toggle it off. Green is on, white is off. Keeping this setting off should help you reduce your data usage significantly. It's interesting that Android phones have a similar button, but the default on Androids is off. On iPhones, the default is on. We can't think of a time when you'd want to have this button on. The third setting to look at is Cellular Data. Go to Settings, then Cellular. Now, some people who are desperate near the end of their billing cycles may turn their cellular data off completely. But that's probably not a good idea for the vast majority of people as an everyday practice. Here's why. Push notifications rely on cellular data. So if you get alerts for text messages or voicemails or emails or weather bulletins, then you may not get those alerts if you have your cellular data off, even if you're on Wi-Fi. A better strategy is to go down your list of apps and decide this: what do you definitely want to use while on data, even if you're not on Wi-Fi? Turn everything else off to white. The things you leave on may be things like your maps or navigation, because you're usually not connected to Wi-Fi when you're using your phone to navigate, right? You may want to leave on your email app or your weather app or whatever. You can leave on whatever you'd like. Just turn off the apps that you don't want to consume your valuable data. Last is location services. This can be a data and battery hog too, and it can also be a little creepy. Most apps are set to track your location. This means they're pinging your location, sometimes when you're not even on your phone. There are a few apps that you may want to know your location, like your weather app. For other apps, you may want them to know your location only when you're using the app, like your navigation or your coupons app. And for still other apps, you may never want them to track your location. You should decide. So here's what you do. Go to Settings, then about 16 lines down, go to Privacy. The first line is Location Services. There you'll see all of the apps that can track your location. You can go down the list and decide which ones that you want to use your location always, or never, or use your location only when you're using the app. In summary, if you've been having problems with data overages in recent months, even though you haven't changed the way you use your phone, then adjusting these settings should help you use significantly less data while preserving your battery life and protecting your privacy. If you have questions, feel free to text me at 216-316-7064, and I'll try to help.